Yeah, thanks Harsha for starting the recording over here. And guys, just give me a moment. Just give me a moment. Yeah, thanks guys for your confirmation over here. Okay, so let us start our session today. Okay. Huh. So basically, uh, uh, guys, I think all of you have confirmed me, right? That I'm audible to all of you. Can you confirm me once more? Yeah, just a moment. Just a moment. That is not for everybody, guys. You don't have to log in over here. Just a moment. Yeah. So first of all, guys, basically in today's session, we are going to have a look at the mass data load. Okay. So mass data load. So what do you mean by mass data load over here, guys? You know that in mass data load, basically before mass data load, I have told all of you that there is master data integration and transactional data integration. Both of the integration is present over there. Okay. So in master data integration, what you will be doing? Basically, you will be replicating your master data from your ERP to Ariba over there. Plain and simple. Excuse me, guys. So, my question is, if you are going to use master data integration over here for replicating master data from ERP to Ariba, why you need to do mass data load? Basically, what is mass data load? Mass data load is replication, or basically you can say creation of your master data in Ariba manually by creating a CSV file. Okay, that's the first thing. Second thing is, what's the second thing, guys? Second thing is, you have to maintain this data manually. Now, basically, you will use all of these things differently. But why is the reason behind it? So all of you need to notice one more thing over here, guys. And that particular thing is, do all master data which are present in Ariba exist in ERP? Can you say that all the master data of Ariba exist in your ERP, guys? Correct. Very correct, guys. No, It does not. Why is that so? Because see, there are different things like what? Even SPSC commodity code. This does not exist in your ERP. Okay. Similarly, purchasing unit. This does not exist in your ERP. Similarly, bias plus groups creation and assignments. This does not, get created over there, guys. And the fourth thing is basically tax calculation. So these are the four things. Always remember you have to do in your mass data load, irrespective of your project. Okay, because this particular things does not exist in your ERP. That's the first thing. Or in certain cases, like yes, buyer exists, tax calculation also exists in ERP, but we want to simplify it. We want to automate it over here. So that is why we will configure within Ariba over there. Basically, these are called as mass data load, or basically you can say manual master data loads. Okay. So remember, these are the four things which we will do in every project with the help of mass data loads, nothing else. Okay. So let us have a look at the ENS SPSC commodity code. But first of all, guys, all of you should remember, go to manage, go to code administration. Okay. Click on site manager, click on data import export. This is the place where you are going to work with what? Where you are going to work with data loads. Now within data loads, as I have said to all of you earlier, see, there is CSV file. I will show you how the CSV files looks like and what how you're going to enter the data. But before that, you can see there are different import operations. Okay. What are those import operations? Load to create update only. Okay. And the fourth point is what? Deactivate. Now, guys, first of all, load mode. What do you mean by this particular thing? If somebody asks you what you're going to do over here, what would be your answer? Excuse me, guys. Okay, bulk data and fresh data. Okay, upload the bulk data from ERP or fresh data from ERP. First of all, see, it's not from ERP. UNSFSC commodity code does not exist in ERP. So we will prepare the CSV file and we will load the data. So bulk data. So my query to all of you is like, in this case, guys, what is the difference between create and load then? See, create means what? What it will do? Create means, guys, always remember one thing. It will only create the data. That means in create data mode, okay, you know, within your CSV, you cannot say for guarantee what kind of data you're having, because you can have the data, a new data basically. So when I'm saying new data, what do you mean by the new data over here, guys? So guys, always remember one thing. In CSV data file, you can have new data which does not exist in your database, or old data which is pre-existing, but but some field is updated, some field value is getting updated over there. Okay, so both kind of data can be present over there. Okay, so you cannot say like, oh, only new data will be there. Okay, so if you try to load that particular CSV in create mode, what will happen is like all the new data records which is not existing in Ariba, that will get created. But all the existing data basically which you want to update, that will not be done. That will happen in create. Similarly, in update only, what will happen here, only the pre-existing data within Ariba, where basically you want to update the data, that will get updated. But if you have, let's say, given some 10 data records which is not present in Ariba and you want to create it, in this mode, it will not get created. So that's the difference between create and update only. And load mode. Now, this is a very important mode. All of you should understand that in this mode, what will happen? Both new data will get created and old data, or basically pre-existing data, will also get updated over here. So that is the meaning of load mode operation or load import operation. Okay. And in deactivate, basically be very clear on this part, guys. Deactivate means whichever data is present within your CSV file. Okay. That particular data will be logically deleted from Ariba database. So be very careful. Keep only those data basically which you want to logically delete, and you load it over here. Okay. Now, first of all, guys, in implementation mode, in implementation, basically in implementation project, which operation you are going to use, guys? Correct. Correct, guys. In your implementation, you are going to use this mode only. Create. Why is that so? Okay. Keep this thing in your mind. Okay. And in second thing, which you are going to have a notice over here, is basically what? In your implementation project, you will use create. Very good. But what about in your support project, guys? Which one you will use? Which option you will use over there, guys, in your support project? Correct. Very correct, guys. Very correct. Load mode. Why is that so? Because in your support project, first of all, okay, so basically what we will do is like there will be huge list of data, correct? And we will not know that which one is a new one, which one is a pre-existing one. Now, since you don't know which one is a new one, which one is a pre-existing one, what you will do? You cannot segregate whether to use create or update only. So use load mode. What will happen? If it's a new data, it will get created. If it is a pre-existing data, what will happen? Automatically data will be updated. Okay, keep this thing in your mind. The very important point for your whole what you can say data import operation. Okay, guys. Now, first of all, let us have a look at how the CSV file will look like. Now, first of all, guys, my question to all of you. See this Unisys PSC commodity code, correct? Where you will get this data? Excuse me. From business, guys, this particular data. Correct, guys. You cannot ask the business for this data. They will directly say, no, we cannot give you. Why? They won't be aware that Unisys specific commodity code is used over there. So where you will go? If you go to Ariba over there, basically, Ariba will say, hey, yes, I know Unisys specific commodity code you have to use, but see, first of all, we are not the person responsible for Unisys specific commodity code. So we cannot help you on this part. So what he will do? The answer is simple, guys. You have to go to the Unisys PSC website. Okay. Once you go to the Unisys PSC website, from there only you will get all this particular list. Now, all this particular list means basically some fields, not all fields. Which are the fields? I will tell you guys. Excuse me, guys. Okay, that's the first thing. Now, very good. You will download all this particular data from where? From the Unisys PSC website. Correct? And what you will do from there, you will copy it from into this particular CSV file. Very good. correct? Now my question to all of you is, in your implementation we know that this particular thing you will copy it from yours, where just be during the cutover activity you will do this thing before the implementation project. In support project, when you will do this thing, guys, this particular activity. Excuse me. So in your support project, when you will update this data, guys, after 1 month, after 2 months, after 3 months, after 6 months, after 1 year, when? Okay, it will be there, guys, but ultimately the data will also get revised, right? So after how much duration you're going to revise this, update this data within your Ariba system? Ah, now this is a very confusing thing. If you have not done this thing before, you will think of it, what will happen. So always remember, you have to do this thing every quarter. Why is that so? Because always remember, Unis SPSC will do what? They will update the data after every quarter. So based upon that particular thing, what you have to do, according to their updation after every quarter, you also have to update this data within your Ariba system after every quarter. Okay, keep this thing in your mind. Very few people know about this thing. Okay, next is basically, guys, what you will see, this particular field and this particular field, domain and enabled, both of this particular field. Yeah, all full data you have to upload for all of your client, guys. Excuse me, guys. No, you don't have to do validation. This particular thing is coming from the standard website over there, guys, so you don't have to validate this data. Domain and enabled over there. So first of all, domain should always be Unis SPSC. Keep this thing in your mind. And enabled, guys, please don't make a mistake over here. This particular enabled field should always be yes. Why? Because if you give this thing as no, what will happen? See, it will get loaded. It will be loaded into the system, but you cannot use this particular commodity code within your where? Within your whole Ariba system. So always keep one thing in your mind over here, guys. Excuse me. Enable should always be yes over here. Now, once you have done this particular stuff, what's the next step which we are going to see? Basically, purchasing unit. Now, if you see purchasing unit data over here, it will be pretty simple. Okay. So here we will give parent unit 1, P unit 1, P unit 1. Excuse me, guys. Child unit 1, C unit 1, C unit 2, child unit 2, C unit 2, C unit 2. Guys, this is not a naming convention over there. I'm just, showing to all of you that in this way you can create this purchasing unit. But remember one thing, guys, over here. See, like this, you will create what? Like this, basically, you will create the purchasing unit. Pretty simple. Now, most of you will say, Manoj, if the if purchasing unit is this much simple, okay, then how can we do cross organization buying with the help of purchasing unit? Now, this is where things gets muddier. Why? Because by just creating purchasing unit over here, you won't be able to do anything. Okay, keep this thing in your mind, guys. That's the first thing. Okay. Excuse me, guys. So what is the next thing? Open company code. With company code, I will show you, and purchasing organization, I will show you. Okay, so let me open up the company code over here, guys. Now you can see that this data has came from where, guys? If I ask all of you, this company code data from where it has came? Manually or from the master data integration, guys? What would be your answer? Correct. Correct. Through the master data integration, it will come, this particular data will come over here, guys. Okay, that's the first thing. Second thing is what? Second thing is, when you're editing this particular file, please make sure you're not touching this data, this particular three fields. Only purchasing unit you will enter. Okay, be very careful on this part, guys. Next thing, now let's say I will say parent unit 1, parent unit 1, parent unit 1, and parent unit 1. Here, child unit 1 and child unit 2. Now let's say for me, I have given the purchasing unit as parent unit 1. For Eraj, it is child unit 1. C unit 1. And for, let's say, Sana, it is child unit 2. Now guys, who is able to do the cross organization buying over here? Any guess guys? Who is able to do the cross organization buying? Correct. Correct guys. Me only. Why? Because I have been assigned the parent unit 1, and parent unit 1 basically is responsible for this 4 company code. Correct? So that is cross organization buying, right? So that is how you can do cross organization buying in Ariba over here, guys, because you don't have a org structure which you can directly use it over here. Excuse me, guys. Okay, keep this thing in your mind. Now, for Sana and as well as Araj, they will have access to only one company code. Why? Because it is not cross organization buying enabled over here. So for them, it is normal buying. Same thing. If I open the purchasing organization over here, yeah, in the buyer profile. Basically, when you're creating the user at that particular point of time, you have to give this thing, guys. Same thing over here also. If I give p unit 1, p unit 1, okay, then I will give c unit 1, c unit 2. Now, in this scenario, for the parent unit 1, what will happen? We will have two purchasing organization. Okay, keep this thing in your mind, guys. That it is not like only with company code you can do. You can do this thing with company code, purchasing organization, purchasing group, cost center, GL account, all this particular thing also you can do over here, guys. Okay, so this is how you have to work over there. But remember, first you have to create a purchasing unit. In this purchasing unit.csv file, basically what you have to do, create this purchasing unit. Okay, okay. Next thing is, guys, once you have created this purchasing unit, then you have to assign it to different organization over there. Okay, keep this thing in your mind. Different fields, different fields stands for different things over here, guys. Okay, but only the main fields, mandatory fields which are required over there, you have to enter. You don't have to give all these particular fields. Okay, and I will show you one more thing where you can find all the information about all the fields for all the data loads. Okay, so this is how, guys, you will be creating the purchasing unit. That's the first thing. Second thing, you will also enable cross organization buying over here. Okay, now before we go into this two step, guys, we will take a small break, then we will go over there. Why? Because this will, the third point basically will require a little bit of what you can say, uh, in-depth understanding over there, guys. Okay, so let us take a break. After the break, guys, we will see how the bias will be created, how the custom groups will be created, how it will be assigned. Similarly, the tax calculation also over there. And once we finish the tax calculation, there I will show you the reference which you can look for any kind of data loads. That means any kind of data load which you're doing over here. Okay, what you are going to do over there, guys? Basically, you're going to work with all these fields. So you have to understand which field is mandatory, which field is not. Correct? What are the other characteristics of those fields over there? Okay. So all those things we will understand over here by just looking at what? By just looking at that particular data dictionary. Okay. So let us take a break over here, guys. After the break, we'll continue with all those things. Thank you, guys. Let's take a break. Guys, am I audible to all of you? Yeah. Thanks for your confirmation, guys. Okay. Now, uh, let me just, okay. User data consolidated file. This is the thing which we are going to see, guys. Click on export. Just a moment, guys. Okay. Just give me a moment, guys. I will be removing the non-mandatory fields, or basically optional fields, sorry. Hmm. Sorry, guys. Okay. Very good. One has been done. Okay. Okay. Now it is correct. Okay. Now tell me one more thing, guys. You will be having the bias present in ERP, right? And that particular option will be available in your master data integration also, or basically master data integration. So why you will not use that particular option and basically you will load this data one by one? Any guess, guys? See, all this particular user exists in your ERP. So why you want to capture all this particular information once again manually? Why not bring it automatically from the master data integration? Excuse me, guys. Yeah. Now this is a very interesting question. Why is that so? Because see, in ERP there will be different kind of users. Some will be finance user, some will be HR user, some will be HD user, okay, some will be PP user. So all those users you cannot bring it into Ariba. Sometimes a big organization you will see 5,000, even 10,000 users are there in ERP. 10,000 users you cannot bring it over Ariba. Plain and simple. Okay, that means what? So that is why we will create them in Ariba manually. Why? Because maximum we will create 1500 users, not more than that. Even for very big organization also. So the first thing which you have to ask over there is to the client that boss, give me the list of users which I have to create. So they will give the list. Now then immediately you have to sit with them for what? Basically for cost center, company code, okay, what is the currency, what is the plant, what is the supervisor, and also some of you were asking Manoj where we will give purchasing unit. Okay, you will give it over here for different users. Okay, GL account. Okay, email ID was also there, guys. I removed that particular field. Email ID also you have to give. Okay, name you have to give, purchasing group, purchasing organization, all this particular information you have to give to the buyers. So remember, this particular information you just cannot take from anywhere else. You have to ask your client. Okay, purchasing unit also you have to ask to the client, and that point of time you have to ask them that which user are your cross organization buyers. So they will give a list, and for that particular list you have to ask, okay, each of this cross organization buyer for which organizations unit they will have access to, give us the list. So based upon that, what you will do, you will assign the different purchasing unit to those organization unit over there, and here you will assign this purchasing unit. Done. So once you prepare this particular file, guys, and you load this data, what will happen? All of you will say that Manoj, our work is done. But remember what will happen over there. So for the 1500 users, they will receive a mail that boss, your user ID has been created in Ariba. Very well. That's the first thing. Second thing, this is your initial password. The first time login when you're doing, change your initial password. Otherwise, Ariba will not let you move on. Now, once they log in, they won't be able to do anything. Excuse me, guys. Why is it so? Because they don't have any roles and authorization. So for the roles and authorization, guys, where you have to go, and you also don't, or basically you haven't created any groups. So where you will go, guys? You will go here. Okay. Now, once you open this particular file, guys, what are you able to see over here? What are these things which you're seeing over here? Correct. Very correct. User groups or basically roles. So here mostly the roles which is present over there is standard. So do you think you have to add the standard rules over here? Correct. These are standard user roles and you don't have to add it. Correct, guys. Very correct. Why? Because these standard roles are already present within your Ariba system. Once Ariba give you this particular access over there, it will be already be present. You don't have to do anything. So then all of you will come up to me and say, Manoj, this is a wastage of time. Then I will say, no, guys, because this is where you will create your custom groups. Correct? Where you will use your custom groups, guys. Can any of you recall? Correct. Very correct in your approval configuration. Very correct, guys. Yes, but basically, where in approval uh, workflow configuration? Correct. Very correct, guys. Approval lookup table. That means dynamic approval. Very good. Very good. Very good, guys. And also in catalog views, if you remember. Okay. Catalog views are also present over here, and you can also do it over here. Use it over here. Now, all the custom groups you will add over here. Okay. Now, once you have added the custom groups, what will happen? Custom groups will get created over here. No issues. Then you will open up the main file. Huh. This file is a bit, what you can say, tiring over here. So first of all, when you get this file, okay, always put on filter. Once you put a filter, basically do what? Remove all the other users over here. Now, what I have done over here, guys, basically on the first column, basically what we are seeing, basically we are seeing the user ID. In the second column, what we are seeing, basically we are seeing the groups, correct? And in the third column, what we are seeing, that is a password adapter. You don't have to add anything. You just write whatever is present over there. But the main important thing is the first and the second field, user and groups assignment. Now, here I am showing you the user group assignment for only one user. Now think of 20 groups are present over there on an average, 1500 users. How much entry you have to create, guys? 30,000 data records. Correct, guys. Now, first of all, remember, a single Ariba consultant cannot work on 30,000 data records creation. Yes, there will be 4 guys over there, so you have to divide it over there, first of all. Second of all, when your project is just basically you're going to, after the signing of BEP, you're going to start with your what? Development. Okay. So at that point of time, ask your client that boss, this user and group assignment is quite what? Okay. So always remember this thing that at the starting of the project almost, you have to ask your client to basically provide which kind of authorization each user will be having. Okay. Excuse me, guys. Now, first of all, now remember, client will never know the role. They will say this user will have contract role, non-admin. This user should have sourcing role, non-admin. Another user will have sourcing admin role, contract admin role, like this. So basically, you have to do a kind of mapping. Okay. So basically, what will happen is like we will share with all of you a what? A workbook which Ariba provides whenever you will go to a project, any SAP Ariba implementation project, all of you will get a workbook. Now, once you're working with that particular workbook over there, you will have the list of roles, correct? And that particular roles will help you in mapping the, you know, authorization which your client is giving and which rules to give over there. Now, once you get this thing, 4 users are there, 7,500, or basically four Ariba consultant is there. Each of you have to prepare 7,500 lines of data record. So start from the beginning. So when you will reach the data cutover period, what will happen is like everybody will have their data ready, consolidated a single file, done. But please don't try to do this thing during the data cutover period. All hell will break loose. And some of you might want to see what the rules list in enablement workbook. Give me a moment. I'm just unsharing my screen, guys. So, guys, this is basically the what? This is basically the what? The workbook which I was talking about. Go to the user roles. So this is where you can see all the roles: contract administrator, contract manager, all this particular thing. Okay, and what are the authorization which they are having over here. So always you have to use this uh, reference over there, because client will not know exactly what is the specific rule. All of you will not remember what are the specific rules they will give in writing. From there you have to do the mapping over here, and then what you have to do, you have to assign the rules. Okay, keep this thing in your mind, guys. And remember, uh, we will be uploading this particular thing in all of your Google Drive over there. But remember, please don't use this particular thing when you're working in a project. Why? Because you will see Ariba will automatically update this particular enablement workbook every quarter. Sometimes not every quarter, uh, yearly once they will do it. Okay, it depends over there. So by the time you're starting your work in your Ariba project, what will happen, a new version might have came in over there. So it will have the updated, what, updated list. Okay, so this particular thing you can use for your training, but for your project, when you're going into the project, just ask your Ariba account executive. So for each client, Ariba will have, or basically Ariba will assign one executive for them. So they are basically called as Ariba account executive. You just have to ask them, and once you ask them, what will happen, immediately they will do what, immediately they will give you this particular enablement workbook, the most recent one. Okay, now once you have both of these two things, what you will do, you will load this data over here. Okay, user group mapping over here. Okay, once you load this thing, then only the proper authorization will be loaded into your user's profile or buyer's profile. Then when they will be logging in, what will happen, they will be able to do all their activities, or basically you can say complete their activities. Okay, now the last thing basically which we will see over here is tax calculation. So let me just click over here, tax. Okay, so tax code lookup. Let me go over here, guys. Let me remove all this particular information which is not required. Now how the tax is getting calculated over here, guys, because some of you were asking me how automatic tax calculation is happening. Okay, so just a moment. So always remember, whenever you're working with a VAT kind of tax, shift from country, shift to country, and commodity code is the most important point. So like this you can say 82, okay, 4132. Okay, so let's say we have given the commodity code, guys. Now here what I will do is, like, I will say it is from US, shift from country is US, shift to country is Thailand. Now guys, shift from country, how Ariba will validate this information in the PR level? Any guess, guys? Because this is an important step, you have to understand based on what this particular configuration is happening. What do you mean by shift from country, guys? Correct. Very correct. From the shipping address of the supplier. Basically, not shipping address. You can say supplier location or supply address. Within the supply address, the country will be there. That particular country will be matched against this entry. Ship to country, guys. Correct. Destination. So destination means, as I said to all of you guys, while you're creating the buyer, okay, you have to give a shipping address. Correct. That particular address will also have the country. That particular country will be matched against the ship to country. Similarly, ship from state will be from the supplier's location. Ship to state will be from the buyer's shipping address. So this will be used separately. So whenever you are using basically a VAT tax over there, mainly you will working with ship from and ship to country. Now, now let's say I'm saying ship from country is India, ship to country is India. Now here, whenever you are saying India, what will happen here? GST will come into the picture. So what will happen? You have to give the state DL. Now, what was the first example, guys, which I'm showing you over here? Let me just, change this thing. Now, guys, why I am showing you this GST? Because GST is the most complex tax code calculation which you will do. Why? Because for normal VAT tax over there, it's pretty much easy. But whenever you will need to do the GST calculation, this is where it will become a little bit complex. So first of all, see, for the highlighted area, I have given the same company a commodity code 4132. Okay, ship from country is India, ship to country is India. That means both the buyer and supplier is residing in India. But but supplier is from Delhi, buyer is from Mumbai. What will happen? Two tax component will get added, right, in the GST. Correct, guys? Now this kind of configuration is a little bit complex. Why? Because see, here Ariba is able to understand over here there is two tax code over there. Okay, but by default it will pick up the first tax code. So what you have to do? You have to do two changes over here. Okay, what's the changes? This is the two. Okay, and here you will say accrual is yes, accrual is yes. It means what now? Now Ariba will understand that okay, for commodity code 4132, ship from country India, ship to country is India, and supplies from Delhi, buyers from Mumbai. So what will happen? This two tax code, this is the first tax code, this is the second tax code which is present over there. And since it is accrual, what they will do? Basically, they will add it over there. This is what the GST calculation is. What, right, guys? Same thing, same thing for 1209, but here supply is from Delhi, buyer is from Gujarat. So here also what will happen? Yes, accrual, yes, accrual, and two. Same way. But see the last one over there. Here I have given a separate commodity code. I've given the shift from country is India, shift to country is India. But here I have not given accrual is yes. Why? Because here I've give only one list. Can any of you guys take a guess? Why is it so? Correct, correct, correct. It is the same state. See, both the state, buyer state as well as supply state is Delhi. So what will happen by default? What will happen? One tax code will be implemented. N- You know, two tax code will not be used over there. Okay. So this is how, guys, we will basically do the automatic tax calculation over here. Very good, guys. Now this particular thing is done properly, but still you will need some more data. And what's that particular data? Basically, remember about one thing, guys. There is some prerequisite for this particular configuration, because tax code, tax rate, all of these things has to come from ERP first. So if you don't do the master data integration, what will happen over here? If you don't do the master data integration and you try to give the tax code and try to load this data, automatically system will throw up an error saying, boss, this is where the error is happening, tax code is not created. So some Ariba consultant, they will try to create a tax code. Please don't do that, guys. It is already available in ERP. So run the master data integration, all the tax code, tax rate, each and everything will be coming over there, and then you do the configuration over here. Load this data. Then what will happen? Any user, whenever they are creating a PR, automatically tax will get calculated over here, guys. Now once you have done this thing, a quick tips which I will share with all of you. Click on download data dictionary. Huh. It has got downloaded. Very good, guys. Now, once you are seeing this basically thing, guys, over here, you can click over here. Just a moment. Where it went. Okay, you can just have a look at the bottom left hand corner, guys. I've just opened one thing by right clicking on this. So basically you can see all your data loads. Okay, all your data loads, it will come up over here. You can select any of this thing. Okay, basically once you choose any of this particular thing, let's say you want to choose the company code. Okay, now once you choose the company code, basically you will see what over here, guys. Basically you will see the field name. The field name which is appearing in the CSV file. Now, some of you were asking me, Manoj, what is the field data type, whether it's a required or a optional field? How you can say, see, data type is present over there. Okay, let me just increase this particular. Now, now I think most of you would be able to see. See, these are the fields, guys. See, these are the field. Okay, and if you look at this is basically your data type. See, what are the data type string it is showing, then it will be showing you what is the exact length. Now in the BUK arrays, if you try to give any value which is more than having more than 50 character, it will throw up an error. Now whether it's required or not, okay, you can see it over here. See, BUK arrays, BUTXT and FSTVA, these three are what mandatory, and the purchasing unit which we have given, this is optional. Okay, so some of you who were asking, like, Manoj, which, what is the meaning of this particular data fields? Okay, what is the character data data type of the fields? You can see it over here. And if you want the field description, guys, you can see it over here also for each of these data loads. So basically, we cannot remember each and every field of the data, data loads. What is the field data type, what is the string length, whether it's required or not, or sometimes what's the meaning of that particular field. So what we will do, we will always download this data dictionary, and from this data dictionary, we will refer it to understand what's the thing, and then we will ask the client, because sometimes you will also forget. There are too many data loads over there, too many fields. So you have to use this particular concept over here, guys. Okay, keep this thing in your mind, guys. So this is how, guys, you are going to do the what mass data load in your project. And remember this steps, this all these particular loads which we have seen over here in our session, this you have to do it in every project mandatorily. You cannot say no. Okay, so any queries or any question you're having on this part, guys, please raise your hands. No, guys, this particular access is not provided over there. Why? Because this particular access will require you to have a super admin authorization. Okay, super admin authorization is actually explicitly prohibited by Ariba for to our company or to our institute over here to be given to any external users. Okay, so only internal users, and that are also vetted by Ariba over here, will have access to it, guys. Okay, yeah. Anirudh, can you please go ahead with the query?
Hi, Manoj. Uh, I just wanted to know, this is a hypothetical question maybe. Is it possible to have two purchasing units within one purchasing organization also?
That also you can give. That also you can give.
I mean,
Uh,
multiple
multiple purchasing
purchasing
unit for one purchasing organization.
yeah, that's
Okay.
possible.
Huh.
And other way also is possible. I mean,
See,
same
like
purchasing
this,
unit for
like this,
multiple countries.
like this,
Yeah,
like this, you can give
yeah,
over here.
yeah.
See unit 2.
Uh,
So what will happen? This particular purchasing organization will be assigned to anybody who is having the purchasing unit P unit 1, or
yeah.
anybody who is having the purchasing unit C unit 2.
Okay, okay. So that's possible. Yeah.
Yeah.
Second thing, we sometime back we talked about the consolidated file, for mass data load. Yeah.
Yeah.
So in that kit, consolidated means the font size was very small, so sometimes not able to see properly. But does it mean that you can upload UNSPSC and purchasing unit and all that in one file, or
No,
no?
no, no.
That's
Consolidated data load means basically, see, that was basically this particular data I was talking about. So here, let's say on an average, you're giving 20 groups or 20 roles to each user, and there are
Mhm.
1500 users. So how many data records will be there?
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
30,000, right? So
Multiple
30,000 data
roles.
records.
Yeah. Multiple
Yeah.
roles. Yeah.
Yeah, so 30,000 data record, it is impossible to be created by one Ariba consultant. So what you need to do is like, you need to divide the work among four Ariba consultant, because in a project there will be 3 to 4 Ariba consultant minimum. So once you divide this particular work, what will happen is like everybody will work with some number of what you can say, this particular uh, what you can say, the data rows, right? 7,500, or you will working with 10,000, data you will create. Now once all, three of you or four of you have created all this data, you will consolidate this data, right? Otherwise,
In one file, yeah, for
yeah,
upload.
exactly,
Okay.
exactly. In this particular file, you will consolidate the data, and then you will do the import. Otherwise, what will happen is like one by one, you have to do it.
Ah, okay. 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 And this basically these files will have to be created by the Ariba consultants, is it? Yeah.
No, no, no.
Entirely, or
Actually,
the
actually, this file is already existing over there. Okay, as I have shown you, just click on download over there. Okay, export over there. This file will get downloaded over there. So basically, this particular file, when you will work in your real project, here it is having data. Why? Because we have done all this activity. But when you will go to your real project, it will be totally empty. So there, basically, you have to enter the data. Now, some of the data you will be collecting from the client. Some of them, what you will do, you will use your, you will go to the UNSSPC website, and then you will bring the commodity code. So that is how you will fill these particular CSV files.
but that is all has to be done by the Ariba consultant, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there is no basis consultant over here. We have to do
Yeah.
this particular activity.
So I was thinking something like that, whether something like that somebody is available who will do all the uploads and all that.
but
So that's
basically
not the
but basically you will see that in your project there will be one junior guy apart from this four Ariba consultant. Okay, during your data loads and all this particular activity, we will ask for one junior guy. Basically he will be working as a data analyst or data consultant kind of thing role.
Mhm,
So
mhm.
we will actually we will show him how to capture this data, and then that particular guy will capture the data. But it does not mean that we will not work, we will work. But
Yeah.
the repetitive task, what we will do is like we will ask that particular person to do over there,
Yeah.
and so that we can focus more on the what data to be captured over here, how we can remove unwanted data, we can have different discussions with the client over there on this part.
Yeah. Okay. But this file, what we are seeing right now, that's a it's available, for this is standard thing. No, this is already
Yeah, yeah,
available.
yeah, 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 it will be available by default.
But you assigning these roles to particular users, that's the job which the consultants have to do. Yeah.
Exactly.
And typically, just maybe this is a little bit besides the discussion, but typically, how long Ariba implementation projects last? Maybe.
Generally, if you're looking at only Ariba downstream, it will be 6 to 7 months. Ariba upstream, it will be 4 to 5 months. Okay.
Okay.
And if you look
So,
at both upstream as well as downstream, that will last somewhere between 1 year to 1 year, 2 months, depending upon the complexity.
okay. So that's which includes also the mass data upload integration and everything. I mean,
Exactly. Everything, everything, everything.
okay, okay. And sometime back, we just talked about the uh, file,
Yeah.
just the last file, what we said, that's also available from the workbook. I mean, whatever you said, the uh,
You're talking about this data dictionary?
yeah, 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 yeah.
It's no data dictionary. See, data dictionary will be available from your logins over there. Basically, when you will do the integration administrator, so basically what you will do is like when you will go to a project, Ariba
Hmm.
will give you the access over there. You will have the super
Okay,
admin role. So within that
okay,
super
okay,
admin role, once you go to the data import export, you can download this data dictionary. So
okay. But
from
it
this
is there in
particular,
Ariba. I mean, it's there in
exactly, it is available in Ariba. This is available within Ariba. It is downloaded from Ariba only.
Okay, that's okay. So that you will get whenever you are on the project, yeah?
Exactly.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Mm. Okay, one small question, maybe I'm uh, see, sometime back we said within the same state, yeah, we said that
Mm-hmm.
there's only one tax code, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
uh, and when it's interstate, then there are two. But now
Mm-hmm.
with GST, this
Mm-hmm.
always there are two parts. One is SGST and one is CGST. So which is there in any
Mm-hmm.
case because one stands for the earlier central VAT, that is excise, another one for the state, that is the s- s-
Mm-hmm.
uh, previously which was the VAT or sales tax in some places. So why in this within the state there is only one tax code, because it will always have two components, because SGST and CGST. So
No, no, no. Actually, remember, whenever you are doing this particular configuration, so you will see that first of all, for a single commodity code, if if you're transferring or moving this particular material or services within the state, so there will be only one tax component. But if it is a interstate movement of goods or services over there, then only two component of GST will get added.
but actually there is with GST, I think there is no difference now. I think uh,
No, no.
I don't know.
So remember in GST, what will happen is like, see, the two components, that is one is for the state government, another is one for the central government. This will
Yeah.
get added whenever there is a interstate movement of goods or services. Okay. And remember, for in case of interstate movement means only one component will
Yeah.
get added, not multiple. So in that case, so that is how we are configured over there. See, when the both the supply location is Delhi and buyer location is Delhi, what will
Hmm.
happen? So
Okay.
it is an interstate movement. So it will have only one thing.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
the
Thank you.
same
Thank you.
thing, same configuration we have done over here. But anyhow, see, remember my essence over here. But basically, I am showing is like I am showing the Ariba's options over there. So
Yeah. Yeah.
basically, if you know how to do this
No.
thing, basically we
Yeah.
have added two tax code with different combination. Now due to some other things also, let's say some other tax is getting added. Okay, so in that case what will happen is like you can also add another tax code by just giving is accrual as yes and rank as 3. So
Yeah.
basically that's the essence over here. So that means what, that whenever let's say Indian government changes the rule, you don't have to once again think about that, hey, how I will do the configuration. You will say that yes, Manoj, we know how to, even if another tax component is added, you know how to do this configuration.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. But that has to be done in ERP, and then you have to bring it here. Huh?
No, 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 no. Once again, remember, ERP tax calculation and Ariba tax calculation is different. The only
Okay.
thing similar between ERP and Ariba is basically the tax rate and tax code. That
Code.
particular thing you have to create in ERP, and
Yeah.
from ERP it will
That's true.
come to the mass data integration. But the calculation you have to do in the configuration within the Ariba side. It will not come from ERP.
Okay. So the only the tax code description or something like that will come, but for each tax code, the calculation will have to be separately done in Ariba.
Yeah, basically, yes. So that is what we are doing over here. See, the tax rate is 7% or 10% or 15%, as well as tax code, as well as description. These things are coming from where? These things are coming from ERP. Okay.
Yeah, that's
Once
right.
it is coming from ERP, then we are basically here calculating this tax, right? That in this certain scenario, automatically this particular tax will get calculated. This is not coming from ERP.
Yeah, that is fine. That is fine. That is fine. But the tax calculation, the mathematical calculation will come automatically from the tax code. You will give the logic
Exactly.
here, but the the the
Exactly.
the mathematical calculation will automatically take place, right? Because of the tax
Exactly.
code, whatever we have configured. Yeah.
Yeah. So that is why in your peer screen, when we were doing the activity, automatically tax was getting calculated, right? Automatically
Yeah.
tax was getting calculated. It was getting added in the
Yes.
gross amount over there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Okay.
that's the
Okay.
case.
So this is the logic what we are providing in Ariba for the
Ex-
see these tax codes. Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay. 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 Thank you, Manu. Thank you.
Yeah. Welcome, Anirudh. Yeah. So, okay, guys, let us conclude our session for today. And tomorrow, also, guys, is one of the most important thing basically we are going to see, and that is basically integration scenario, guys. Okay. So please don't miss tomorrow's session also. Okay. Tomorrow is also, you can say, the most important thing in your whole of the session. Why? Because if you are able to understand that particular thing, you can go into any project, you can do any integration. But if you don't understand that, no matter how much you understand the configuration sessions, which will come later, you will not be able to do your integration properly. Okay. So keep this thing in your mind, guys. And let us conclude our session for today. Once again, thanks Harsha for conducting this training. And thanks all of you guys for attending this training. We'll meet once again tomorrow. And tomorrow is a important session, guys. Yeah. Thank you, guys. Have a good day ahead. Yeah. Bye, guys.